What's good, everybody? Man, I'm about to do another great and exciting interview with none other than 13 and 0 Shawn McCalman, who has an upcoming fight with Money Pile on August 13th. So let me bring him in and get this interview started. Take his trip and enjoy this upcoming fight with Terrence Bud Crawford and Earl Spence. I can't wait, man. I'm leaving out in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who I got. Can't wait to see the outcome.
Yo, what's going on?
What's good, my brother? How you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing?
And I'm blessed and honored, man, to be able to talk with you. Look like you had some great sparring going on.
Yes, sir. Just finished up some good hard rounds. About to relax for a little bit and then get back to it a little bit later.
Let me introduce him one more time, man. This is Shawn McCalman, 13 and 0. Got an upcoming fight. And your fight is August 13th, right? I'm correct.
18.
Yeah, okay, August 18th. How's training coming along?
Training's going great, actually. I just fought in June. I fought that last week of June, so took a couple days off and I'm right back in the camp. Feeling fresh, feeling in a groove, and yeah, ready to handle business real soon.
What's up? You started off at super middleweight, right?
No, I started at 175 and just kind of worked my way
Okay,
up.
you started at 175 and you work your way down to middleweight now.
Yeah, super middle.
Okay, super middle. Are you feeling more comfortable at this weight?
Yeah, 68 is a great weight for me. I mean, I don't struggle to make it at all. Still get to keep my strength, keep my speed, my reaction time, and all that. Just yeah, 168 is where I see myself for the foreseeable future for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people, man. You know, 168 is a great division. There's a lot of great boxers in the division. You know, you got Canelo there, you got Andrade. You know, saying some great fighters in the division. What are your goals and aspirations as far as moving along? Like I said, I know you got the upcoming fight with Money Pile. Have you checked out any of his fights?
Yeah, yeah, I know Money Power very well. We got some history, so yeah, I do know him well. Going back years, I've seen film on him. I mean, I've shared the ring with him. Yeah, so I've
Also,
definitely with
y'all.
him.
Okay, so y'all have with y'all squad and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, some years back.
Okay. Yeah. You started late as far as your career. I noticed. I know you have a martial arts background, and what got you into boxing? As far as leaving behind the martial arts, and you know, what I'm saying what made you want to box?
Well, it's something I was always interested in. I mean, obviously, like I said, I started out as doing Taekwondo, so I got a martial arts background. But I actually stopped doing that and started playing football, and I played that up until my freshman year of college. And then once I realized football kind of wasn't, I was coming to the end of my path with football. I'm like, let me go back to my roots, martial arts. So I was like,
Right.
let me try out boxing, and yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that you played quarterback and free safety. I guess in high school.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I love football. I played football myself in high school. As far as do you feel like this is your last fight? You know what I'm saying? I think it was I think it was the TKO. Your last fight.
Yeah, TKO.
Your last opponent was 20. He was 23 and 3 now. Money Powell's 13 and 1. Y'all do have a common opponent, which is Vaughn Alexander. Uh, do you feel like this is a step up fight, or do you feel like what do you feel like this fight? After this fight, what do you think is next for you if you're able to get the victory in this fight?
I mean, I guess we kind of just gotta wait and see. For me, no, I don't feel like it's a step up fight. I mean, if you already look at my resume, I mean, I
Yeah,
have a pretty good resume for where I'm at. I'm 13 and 0. I mean, according to BoxRec, I'm in the top. I'm 59 in the world right now, top 10 in the country right now. My weight with only 13 fights. So I think for me, this is kind of. I mean, I think he's a good fighter. I don't think that this will be like a tune-up or like a keep busy fight or nothing like that. For me, I just want to keep taking tough tests. So by the
right.
time I get to the world-class level, I'm already ready. I haven't seen, I'm not in there with anything I haven't seen before, or I feel like I'm out of my depth. So for me, it's just building, like continue to build my record, build my resume, build my legacy, and yeah, just
Right, yeah,
you know,
definitely, yeah. I definitely checked out your fights and everything, man. you look really good. You know what I'm saying? As I started watching your fights and stuff, because man, the one thing about me, I studied boxing. I love whoever I'm talking to. I like to watch their fights and stuff. And you look very well. And like I said, 13-0. And you know what I'm saying? I know that the goal is, you know what I'm saying, is to become a world champion. From what I've seen, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Cathy Duva is a promoter, and they've been around a long time now. And one thing about them, I know they're gonna guide you the right way. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? How what made you change promotional companies, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I was never with any other promotional company. The only thing I changed
Okay.
was my management. I was with previous company before. Now I'm with as you can, or as made famous by the signing of Earl Spence, I'm now with Fighters First. Obviously, we got a great group of fighters there. So for me, it was just about going in a different direction and finding a group of people who could really make things happen for me. Considering, like I said, I'm about to hit my prime. I mean, I feel like I'm a world
Right.
class fighter, and I just needed the right people behind me to kind of push me and get me to that level so I could show it.
Right, definitely. And definitely you're definitely a world class fighter. I gotta give credit what credit is due. Like I said, man, you look good.
Thank
And when I first seen you, I was like, okay, man, you know what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing inside the ring. But I want to talk because I've talked, I talked to a lot of different people, and a lot of people don't know what it's like starting out in the sacrifices that you got to make as a boxer. So, what type of sacrifices had you have to make so far, like far as your life adjustments and stuff like that?
I mean, the better question is to ask what sacrifice haven't you had to make as a combat sports athlete? Honestly, I mean, you sacrifice just about everything. You sacrifice your time, your efforts in other ventures, your sleep sometimes, your sanity sometimes. I mean, it all depends. I
Right,
mean, it's about what you want to put into it though. Like if you want to be great, like I want to be a great fighter. I feel like I'm a great fighter, but I also wanted to like show that to the world. So I sacrifice a lot in order to be able to take this path and actually be able to dedicate myself to it the way I'm supposed to in order to become that great fighter I feel like I am. So you got to sacrifice a lot. I mean,
right,
it's not easy. If it were, everybody would do it.
right. If you was talking to another young fighter or somebody coming up, would you tell them, like, if they ask you, is it possible to have a job and employment and do both? What would you tell them?
I would say it depends. I mean, everybody's situation is different. I mean, if you work for someone who is understanding of what you're doing and willing to let you pursue that while being employed, then cool. Um, I mean, I know in my situations, a lot of times I didn't. I worked in box at the same time early in my career. Um, but once I had my son, I kind of was like I gotta, you know, go full force with this because I gotta provide for my family. I gotta, So like I said, it just depends on your situation and what you want to get out
Right,
of it. Some guys might want to be journeymen and want to, use it as an extra source of income. And then some guys, want to build a true legacy and build a true like
right.
have a career as a fighter. So it all depends
Yeah,
on what you want out of it. So yeah, you can. And then if you, like I said, if you want to be great, then no, you can't. You probably gonna have to give it up.
yeah. You definitely. Do you think there's guys that just want to be journeymen?
I mean, yeah, not so much. Maybe not in the terms of like journeyman, but they don't.
Right,
They may not explicitly state that like, hey, I'm fighting just as a extra income source. But we can see with the career path they're on, or the kind of fights they take, or
right,
the people they have in their corner behind them. That yeah, like they fighting to make a check. I mean, even at the top level, you see guys just fighting to get the check. I mean, great fighters fight to get the
right.
check all the time.
Yeah, and you definitely got guys that take fights on 1 and 2 week notices. Those type of guys you're really talking about. You know what I'm saying? They really just, that our word is just a check for them.
Right.
But with you, like you said, you're dedicated, and your goal is to become champion. What at the end of your career? What do you feel like you're gonna end up your last weight class? Where do you see yourself? How far you see yourself going up in weight?
Well, me, I love to fight bigger guys, so cruiserweight is where I would like to end up. I don't plan on fighting no bigger than cruiserweight, but yeah, that's probably where I end off at. I'm like one fighter I really admire who's very underrated is Badu Jack, and I'm like looking at the path that he's on. Look at him now; he's 68 champion, 75 champion, and now the oldest cruiserweight champion. So I look up to guys like that, and even like Andre Ward, even though he didn't go up that high, I know he had plans to before he retired. So I think cruiserweight would be a good way for me to end up at.
Right, man. Badu Jack. I love Badu Jack. He's older now and kind of he's on the back end of his career.
Right,
But I really respected. I really respected what he done with the Canelo situation because it wasn't all about money with him.
right. It's about
And he told
education.
they want. Yeah, I didn't like how they wanted him to lose 20 pounds. He's a cruiserweight champion. So why would I come in 20 pounds lighter than what I actually fight at?
Right.
I respected that.
Hey,
How did you feel about
my
this?
glasses. You said how I feel about that? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, how did you feel about what he done? Well, a lot of people take the money when it comes to Canelo. What would you have done in that situation?
Well, I mean, the business of boxing is very. You got to be shrewd. So it depends on who you got negotiating on your behalf and what they can get out of a guy like that. Because Canelo, I mean, I know he feel like he's too big for his britches, and he's
Yeah,
this guy that everybody needs to like make concessions for. But I mean, if I'm a champion, I'm gonna tell him like, no, we can negotiate and compromise, but I'm not just gonna acquiesce to all of your demands. Like that's just not gonna happen.
right. Yeah, I definitely agree. He really didn't want to fight Badu Jack. He just wanted to fight a version of him
Yeah.
by him kind of, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
he didn't. He wanted to fight for. He wanted to get a cruiserweight title. He didn't want to. He didn't care who it came from. He just wanted to get a cruiserweight
Right,
title for the sake of legacy. I mean, and we see that with guys like they'll go up. I mean, not to disparage him, but at the time, like he went up and fought Sergey Kovalev. He knocked him out,
yeah,
got that belt. It wasn't so much about
right,
fighting Kovalev. It was more so about who can I strategically go up and weight against and get a title to add to my legacy. And then he tried it again with Bivol, and he jumped too far out of his league. But it's more so about that. I mean, the business of boxing is very like much more at the forefront of boxing than it was say 30, 40, 30, 40 years
right.
ago.
Right, definitely. What I know, like if a lot of boxers I've met boxers that don't even keep up. Like they get in the ring, but they don't keep up with other fighters. Do you watch what's going on? Like what I'm saying, keep up with what's going on in the boxing world. I mean, everybody knows this upcoming fight. So I'm gonna tell you, I got Earl Spence. Who do you see winning that fight?
Honestly, it's everybody's asking me. I say it's a 50-50 fight because I go back and forth day to day. Like,
It
hey,
is.
I see things that you give. I see the advantages that Spence has, and I see the advantages that Terrence has. All right, bro. So for me, it's like it just depends on the day. I guess it just depends on the day who I'm gonna pick.
Right. So yeah, you're saying neutral 50-50, but if somebody said, man, you gotta take your last dollar and put it on one of them, which direction would you
Again,
probably go?
being that uh, I'm under the same management banner as one of the guys in the
Yeah,
fight, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because it's a conflict of
yeah,
interest
yeah.
one way or the other. So.
Right, right. Yeah, you definitely right about that. I see what you're saying when it comes to that. Did you see the fight with Monster in you and Stephen Fulton? Did you check that fight out?
Yeah, I did get
Cool
a chance
boy.
to watch it.
Yeah, you watched it. What did you think about the Monster's performance?
I mean, he performed as I expected him to. Again, not to take anything away from Fulton, but I just feel like Inoue is that high level of a guy that anybody in his weight class or in and around the weight class could have gotten in the ring with him, and he'd have done him the same way.
Right. So he said it really didn't matter who was in
It
there.
didn't. I mean, with the way he performed that night and on
Oh yeah.
previous other nights leading up to that, I mean, yeah, you could just you go off of what you've seen from him in the past. I mean, I too sharp, too fast, hits too hard, very smart, very underrated boxing IQ, but and a great jab too. I mean, the jab really was
Yeah,
the key to that fight for him
it
because
was.
fighting and a lot of times when you got a shorter guy fighting a taller guy, they usually don't. Uh, the jab is kind of a lost art when you're fighting a taller guy. Like, no, you got to use that, and yeah, I think him using that really set the table for him to get that knockout.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely did. I would like to see him go up to 126, and maybe if we can get Gary Russell Jr. back in the ring, I would probably love to see that fight right there and see how that plays out between those two.
Yeah, actually, I was talking with my coach about that. I think that would be a great fight, and him specifically, Gary Russell, because at 126, I really don't see anybody being able to to stand in front of him or even like boxing him. Like I said, the dude's got a great boxing IQ, and there's not too many
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
in those weight classes who can match that IQ. So I think he's
Right, right.
for a long time until somebody else comes along. I don't see him. I don't see him losing.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem I have is with people, trying to promote this Tank Davis and him. So I just think Tank's on a different level.
And it's also a unrealistic fight. I just
That's what I'm saying. Called
don't see
weight.
it happening. I
Yeah,
mean, like, what weight would they do it at? Would they do it at a catch weight? Because if they do it at a catch weight, who's the one that's going to compromise on the catch weight? Because
right.
Javante likes to make guys come down to just a little bit less than what they want to come down, and then Inoue is a star in his own country, and apparently gets his ass kicked in or ass kissed in Japan. So it's it'd
Yeah,
be like
yeah.
trying to make Spence Crawford all over again.
Right, right. I agree with you on that. I don't think he comes to one. I just feel like 135 would be maybe a little too much weight for him.
Yeah, it depends. We don't know how brave he is. I mean, the man's 30 years old and fighting at 122. So if he wants to, you know, be brave and jump out there and take that risk, then all power to him. But I just don't see that happening.
Right, definitely. I don't need him. Do you have who is your favorite fighter right now in the game outside of yourself? You know what I'm saying? Who do you look at and say, man, I really like what this guy's doing?
Um, I personally, I mean, again, it changes by the day. Like I don't really necessarily have a favorite, but I love to watch. Like when there's certain guys when they're fighting, like I'm gonna make sure I'm sitting in front of a TV to watch it. That would be like Terrence Crawford, Spence, Shakur Stevenson, anyway, Canelo, all them guys. Like the pound for pound guys. Even the lesser known guys that I probably can't come with off the top of my head right now. But
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a boxing fan. Like it could be like the Pro Box card that was on last night. I'm sitting there giving my son a bath while I got this playing live on YouTube. Like I'm just a boxing fan.
yeah.
So it don't really
Yeah, you
matter.
like me, man. I watch it. I watch boxing. Like Earl said the other day, man. I watch boxing sitting on the toilet
Right. Like
sometime, man. I
that's
be,
all day. That's all I do is just watch boxing.
yeah,
Think about boxing. I'm training boxing. Like so, for me, it's not so much about any one guy. It's just for me, I just love the sport. Period.
yeah. If you when it's all said and done, what would you like to accomplish? We know I'm talking about world champion, but goals far as you have set, because I know you probably set goals and things you want to get done. When it's all said and done at the end of your career, what would you like to have accomplished in the ring?
Um. Well, world champion, of course. Whether I'm undefeated or not so much a big deal to me, just because we've gotten so far away from the idea that fighters have to be like undefeated versus like look at a guy like Sean Porter. So for me, I want to build a great resume, fight all the best fighters that I can before I'm done, move through as many weight classes and fight the top guys in those weight classes and beat those guys,
Right.
obviously, but that just comes
Yeah.
down to, whatever
So
preparation
yeah,
at the time. But of course, make a lot of money, take care of my family, live a great life, and just kind of, like reap the fruits of my labor. I put a lot of work into this. So just whatever comes with
yeah,
that.
definitely. So you think that the Floyd Mayweather syndrome, as I call it, is what hurt boxing? I feel like that I came up. I'll be 50 years old this year. I came up. I watched the greats, all of Hagler, Hearns, time back, Earn Pryor. Everybody fought everybody,
Right.
and then it seemed like all of a sudden, I feel like that's where the UFC kind of started to, gain popularity over boxing because people stopped wanting to fight each other. What do you think the real problem, the real issue is? Is it the promoters or is it the fighters?
I think it's the business. The business of boxing is structured in a way where, like Andre Ward, he says boxing is the only sport where one loss affects your pay scale. So you kind of are
Yeah,
you push to the back of the line. Like the business of boxing is fucked up. Like, excuse my
yeah,
language, but it's the best way I can
yeah,
put it. Like
right,
guys who are willing to get in there and take the risk don't get rewarded for taking those risks a lot of times. Like, of course, in that one fight, yeah, if it's a big enough fight, you're gonna make your money. You're gonna, it's gonna be a big pay-per-view draw, yada yada yada. But you go in there and lose, get knocked out, whatever may happen, and yeah, you sent to the back of the line. It's very few guys in boxing that get the chance to lose and still be back on that stage. Like a lot of guys, every fighter doesn't get that, doesn't get that privilege for whatever reason. Like it's only certain guys. I don't know how they're picked or why they're picked, but yeah, everybody who loses doesn't get the same treatment. It's not, even treatment across the board.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like the Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fight kind of, with people seeing the money that they made, do you feel like that kind of what got these fights starting to happen now?
No, not really. I think it's just fighters got to fight. I mean, look, like
Yeah.
this is way off point, but like, look, Showtime just signed a deal to become what Paramount Plus. Like that's cutting into budgets
Okay.
and things like that. Like I said, the business of boxing is what's I think is what's forcing guys to fight because we can't. The business model isn't sustainable where guys get to just take easy fights and fight nobodies and then want to charge $75 for a pay per view. Like it's not. It's just not sustainable. So I feel like even if it's just this year or maybe like into early next year, guys got to fight. If we want to get the sport
Definitely,
back on track
definitely,
as a like
yeah,
respectable sport and as a mainstream sport, then guys need to fight.
definitely, man. And what kind? Do you think this fight between Spence and Crawford? Do you think the pay per view numbers are going to match their talent?
Oh
I know that.
yeah,
Yeah, so you definitely think it's going to do great pay per view
yeah.
numbers?
Like even though people try to like disparage Terrence for his whatever past numbers he did, like he was
Right.
saying the other day, like it's not Spence doing all the the selling of the. It's them two fighting each other. Like that's the biggest fight that could be made. Everybody wants that fight. Like if you're a boxing fan, that's the fight everybody wants to see. So people are gonna pay for it.
Yeah, people gonna definitely play. That's the only thing with the streaming and the way people are able to basically steal pay per view now. I think that hurt the numbers more than anything.
Yeah, I think
It probably
it can,
so
but I think there's a lot of with fights this big. Usually, there's mitigating factors that they put in place to kill streams and stuff like that. So, like I said, they deserve to get everything out of this fight that they're gonna get.
they definitely do. Do you see a rematch? Do you think they're? I know they signed a rematch. Do you see this being a 2 or 3 fight deal? As far as what do you think?
I could definitely see there being a rematch, but it also depends on the fashion that the winner wins in.
Yeah,
If a guy gets knocked out, then we may not see a rematch. Maybe not initially, but I think we'll see at least 2 fights, even if it's not like an immediate rematch. I think we'll definitely see at least 2 fights out of it. The money is there, and the fanfare will
right.
still be there even for a rematch. So I definitely see it being 2 fights.
Yeah, yeah. I see it happening at 54. Maybe one of those fights at 54. What do you think about that? You think they'll? I know Spence is definitely ready to go to
Yeah,
54.
again,
So
it,
you think that could possibly happen?
yeah, it just depends because if Terrence wins the fight, becomes undisputed, who's to say he wants to move up? He may want to defend the undisputed crown. Like he's not complaining about having to make 47, whereas like this is. I think Spence confirmed that this will be his last fight at 47. So again, it just depends.
Yeah, it depends. What about Jerron Boots Ennis? Do you think that he's elite
I mean,
Boots?
he has elite talent. We have to
Yeah,
see him in the ring with a fellow elite fighter, but I definitely think that he has the talent to even if he were to lose, I definitely think he has the talent to get in there with anybody in the world at the weight and be able to more than handle himself.
right, definitely. Before I let you go, I was talking about this right here the other day, and I want to get this out there. I've been, Virgil Ortiz has, been had the bag out of 2 fights, and I'm hearing different reports, but they're saying it has a lot to do with the weight cut. How dangerous is a weight cut to a boxer? I mean, I know you had to cut weight and stuff. How dangerous can a weight cut be?
I mean, it could be very dangerous. I mean,
Yeah,
even for guys who can make the weight safely, I mean, it still sucks. Like it's cutting weight sucks. No matter what anybody tells you, unless you're fighting at your walk around weight, cutting weight sucks.
yeah,
Now the
yeah,
danger comes in, from the dehydration and all the problems that causes. Like dehydration can kill you. Like the human body is made up of over 70% water, so that's where the real danger comes in. You're starting to shut down vital systems in your body just trying to make weight. I don't like the idea of that. Like me, like I said, 68 is the lowest I would ever go. Like sometimes I'm like, maybe I can make 160, but then I'm like, it's not worth
Right.
the risk. It's not worth taking time, years off of your body, because that's really what we're doing, like killing ourselves quite literally to
Yeah,
make weight. So
man.
some guys don't come back from that. Plenty of guys have died, from lack of fluid around the brain and lack of fluid around the vital organs and stuff like that. So it's even for a safe weight cut, it's still unsafe. Like I said, like even for somebody like me who has it down to a science, it's not easy. It's
Right.
not like 100% safe. It's not always 100% guaranteed that you'll recover the way that you need to. So yeah, it's not an easy or a safe thing to do.
Do like I know that the elite boxers, they have nutritionists and stuff. Most of them have nutritionists. Not that I'm not even gonna say elite, but the ones that when they start really getting paid, I seen Spence say that when most of them they get the nutritionists and stuff like that. You know, do you think like I don't know if you got a nutritionist or not, but you say you got it down to a science. So do you think you would, if you don't have one, do you think you would ever need one, or do you think you would be all right? You know what I'm saying, without that?
Nah, that's just like having somebody there to do it for you, so you don't. At least in my estimation, because for a long time I did everything on my own.
Right.
Like I say, I mean, I still do a lot of things on my own, and I'm happy with that because it gives me more control and more of a say so over what goes in and out my body. So there's no, PED scandal where, I didn't know,
Right.
So for me, nah, I don't think I'll ever need one. If I want one, then yeah, like fine. But I've never had a problem making weight and recovering and rehydrating to be
So
able
yeah,
to perform at
that's
a high
that.
level. Like I've
That's
done it all
yeah.
myself, so I don't think I'll need one. If I choose to, then yeah, like it would just be a matter of choice.
Okay, definitely. I'm gonna let you get out of here, man. I know you had a long day, and like I said, man, blessings, man. And I'm gonna be watching this fight, upcoming fight between you and Money Pile. And man, may the best man win. The best of luck to both of y'all. Anything you want to tell him before you I let you go? Anything you want to say or to the fans? Let them know you got the upcoming fight. Let them know what day and you know what I'm saying what time and all that.
Yeah. If you can't be there in Atlanta, then definitely check it out on the Zone. I believe we're the co-main event, August 18th, in Atlanta at the Overtime Elite Arena. Um, like you said, may the best man win. I'm coming prepared. I know he's gonna come prepared, and yeah, like I said, I'm looking to take care of business. So we're gonna see what happens when we get up in there. Thank you there for
Definitely.
having me on, and thank you to
All
everybody who's watching live right now and who will watch later on. But yeah,
right,
just
man.
appreciate the opportunity.
Man, brother, thank you, man. It's hard coming into this boxing business and getting people to do interviews and stuff with you. So as my channel grow, I'll never forget this. I always give credit to those that started from the beginning with me because, you know, this is where I'm at. I'm in the beginning stages of I'm in the beginning stages of my boxing blogger career,
Right.
I'm going to call it. So I appreciate that because you didn't have to do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think it's definitely a good opportunity for the both of us, to get to know each other and make a connection for the
Right.
future. Who knows where this will lead to, and yeah, like I said, I'm
Right.
happy to help out as well.
Thank you, man. Have a blessed rest of your day, man, to you and your family.
All right, I appreciate
Everybody
it.
be good. All right, y'all. Hope everybody enjoyed this interview, man. Y'all know I keep doing my thing, CDK Boxing, man. Y'all check in, check out the interview. You know what I'm saying? That was Shawn McCallan. You got an upcoming fight with Money Pal. You know what I'm saying? If you want to see an interview, I have an interview already that I've done with Money Pal. So y'all go back and check out the interview I've done with him. Check out my YouTube channel, CDK Boxing. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. Have a blessed day.